Well guys, we're working on something different today. This is our work van. My uncle was actually about a block down the road, not even a couple houses down the road, coming this way, and it died this morning. We can't figure out why. A lot of parts already new because this whole motor's actually was replaced, and it leaks oil everywhere. And the intake's the only thing that wasn't new on this engine, and it's never ran all that great since he's had it done. But I think the timing's off for one. But anyway, we're not getting no spark to the plugs. We're getting spark at this coil. If I take this off, this sparks big time right there. But and we've already had a new control module, plus I have an old one here. They might both be bad, so I'm gonna have them tested because I changed it and didn't work. So alright, well, I went all the way to AutoZone and Advance Auto, all the other ones, trying to get the control modules tested. One AutoZone did have this machine there. They didn't even know how to work it. You got to have a certain plug that plugs into it. So I showed them which plug it was. We hooked it all up, but I don't know how to work the computer part. You just hit test, and it was showing that they were bad and this new one's bad, and because they obviously didn't know how to set it or turn it on. I don't know how to do that part. I just knew how to plug it in. So once you plug these in, you don't have a warranty anymore either. But oh well, I mean, it's just is what it is. I'm gonna try it because there is no crank sensor on this motor that I can find, and if they bypassed it, then that could be messing with the computer alone, but it wouldn't have ran this long, you wouldn't think. So I'm gonna throw this on there and see what happens. Well, I haven't had any luck with this van today. I'm not sure if the timing chain has went out on it or what has happened, but I have worked on these these engines, let me just say, the Chevy 350s, the 305s, everything throughout these years that has been in all the pickup trucks, the Camaros, anything from the 90s, they're all the same. And when things like this happen, there's a troubleshooting thing you do to narrow it down, and by the time you go through all these different things, you usually figure out what's wrong, unless there's a major issue. And I've been through everything. She should be starting. There's no reason it shouldn't be, to be honest, unless timing chain maybe took a crap, something like that. I don't know. We have fuel pumping. When it cranks over, it's actually pumping. The injectors are pulsating, whatever you call it. The thing is, I'll even show you real fast while we're at it. Heck, this coil, it gets a good spark. I'm going to show you. You'll see it a spark from here to here because the coil is good. So when your coil is sparking, it goes from this one little wire, goes over to your cap. In order for this coil to fire, this distributor has to be actually working and spinning inside. It sends juice through this up to it, makes the coil spark because it's rotating. It sends the spark back to the distributor through that wire, and then as the rotor is turning, again, the spinning down here on, I can't remember what it's called in there. I've already changed this piece too, in case you're wondering. But anyway, the piece in there that spins, it juices this wire to go through and make the spark. The spark comes back to this, and then as the rotor is going around, it sends it to each wire individually as it goes. And that's what's not happening. It's a new cap, new rotor also, but it is not coming out of the plugs, the wires here. I mean, there's spark going to the cap, which is where it's lost. Now, when there's a problem with your computer and stuff like that, most of the time you do not even get spark coming off of this, and your injectors will quit pumping. And I got spark and I got injection. So alright guys, it's the next day. I've done troubleshoot everything there is, and we're going to change the distributor again. Even though when that pickup turns and it's making the coil spark, I don't know. And my uncle's buddy's a real mechanic, and he come by and he said it's probably the distributor again. So we're gonna go ahead and change the distributor. So right now I just got the screwdriver here because I'm just marking the position of my distributor and rotor button right now, so I know exactly where to put it back. We don't have to do the whole top dead center thing as long as we put it in the same spot we take it out at. That's the whole thing. Put it in the way it comes out. You don't have to do all that timing thing. So hopefully we get that back right. So all I gotta do is take the screw out so that when I lift this, and some of y'all might already know, when you lift this, this is going to kind of do a little turn because of the quarter, the way the threads or the teeth are, they're angled. So when you pull it up, it is going to turn one way or the other. When you put it in, you got to kind of line up and let it drop to place, which most people probably already know what we're talking about. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the screw out and get ready to pull it out. I'm not even going to take it out until the new one's here so I don't forget nothing. And I'm going to take a picture of that rotor button. So all right, now we're just waiting on him to get back with the new distributor. We got it all loose. And for those of you that are new with this, I mean, if you're going to try it yourself, it's not hard. You know, building an engine and getting it all timed in right is different than just taking a cap out or distributor out and putting one back in. You don't have to go through so much math. You just have to put it the same way it came out. So, and another reason I think this truck has been off time, I don't know, this ain't that important, but you see how this cap is kind of a little this way. Most every GM motor like this, it sits over here like this. But anyway, just remember when you pull this up, that rotor is going to spin with the gear, and just slowly watch it so that wherever it comes out at last is where you put it back in, right there. So now when I put the new one in, I just have to remember to point it straight that way, exactly like that. And when it goes back in, it's going to go right back and point at the coil. That's why I got it pointing there. So now we just got to wait on a new part and hope for the best. All right, guys, we got lucky and changed the distributor and all. This time it works. Actually sounds pretty good. So just because you're sparking at the coil doesn't mean the distributor's doing its job.